Hello and welcome back to my channel, guys. I know I'm wearing the exact same outfit as I was in one of my previous sit-down videos, and honestly, I usually try to make an effort to change them, but I have legit been sick for almost like 3.5 weeks now, and I don't have the energy in me to change my outfit, so I apologize. And now you guys know the truth. I film multiple videos on any of my filming days, and I don't think that's any different for a lot of other YouTubers. They probably batch film because that's the best way to spend your time. So you're gonna see me in this outfit for maybe this video, the last video, and maybe one more, because I think my capacity is just 3 videos in one day. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm very excited to share my thoughts and review on my Hermes Picotin, as I've had the chance to use this for quite a few months now, and I think I've just more or less overall had like a great experience with it, and I want to share with you everything that I've done with this bag and what I think this bag is good for, and if you should also purchase this bag. So stay tuned if you want to see more about this bag. I recently shared, well, I don't even know if you consider that recent, but I shared my purchase of my Hermes Picotin 22 couple of months ago. I got this, I think it was like, must have been like late summer in 2022, and this was a surprise purchase on my part. I was not expecting this at all, and I'm very happy that I actually managed to land this. So I will link that video down below in the description box if you guys want to see it and just kind of see how I came to acquire this bag. Quick summary, I walked into Hermes, was going to see my essay. It was like one of her last few days there before she shifted and left and went to another boutique somewhere else, not Hermes anymore. And I was just kind of like finishing up my wish list with her so she could update my profile, and I told her I wanted a Picotin, ideally in the 18 Nata and with gold hardware. I don't often see gold hardware on Natas, at least in Toronto. I've seen a few of them internationally when I've been traveling in like Italy or Spain, but we rarely ever get them here. And she surprised me and was like,
I actually have something if you want to see it.
So she pulled us into the back room, opened this up, and showed this to me, and lo and behold, I fell in love. This is not the 18 that I originally wanted. This is actually the 22, and I'm not mad about the size at all. It's actually beautiful, and I'm pretty happy that I went with the size. That doesn't mean that I don't still want an 18 though. I would love to have one. I think I'm just gonna get it in like a different color, maybe a taupe or gold. We'll see. Whichever one happens to magic its way into my life, I will be pretty happy with. I just think the 18 is such a cute size, and I'm happy with having a 22. I actually wouldn't mind having a second color in the 22 because I find that this holds so much. That is how my Picotin magicked its way into my life. I did not walk in with the intentions of purchasing this, but as soon as I saw it, fell madly in love, and I was like, I have to have you. So I took her home, and now she's mine. I've been using her for quite a few months now, and I feel like I have a very well-rounded experience with this bag and what it can and can't do. So let's just jump right into that. Let's start off with the price. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly how much this bag was. It was in the mid 3,000s in Canadian, so do with that what you will. This is in the 22 size, so I think the 18 size is going to be a little bit less, probably around like, I don't know, like 3,000 or something. I think this is probably like 32.50 or 33 something. I think I may have mentioned in my previous video, so head back to there if you want to find out the exact stats on that. But it's very well priced when it comes to Hermes bags, and the entire bag is leather. There is no canvas on this as compared to any of some of the other bags that I have, such as the bag. So I think that's fairly reasonably priced compared to like a Birkin or a Kelly, which are almost like $10,000-$11,000. This is legit a fraction of that price. And I know this is not a quota bag, but now that Picotins are starting to get a little bit more popular and a lot of people are demanding it, it is starting to get a little bit harder to get your hands on one of these ones. But a great starter and entry-level bag into Hermes if you're starting to kind of begin your Hermes journey. So the Picotins are made out of Clemence leather. They do have felt ones, but the majority of the main line is just Clemence leather. It's a very soft, supple leather with texture on the front. I don't even know if Chanel has a leather of this texture, but it's like a very soft, textured, pebbled leather. And this is in the color Nata. I don't really get afraid that it's gonna get dirty. To be honest, I haven't really checked anywhere to make sure if it's gotten dirty or not, but when I use this, I am fairly careful with it. I don't wear this with denim. I actually don't even wear a lot of denim anymore, so I don't usually ever really worry about it getting stained on the side blue. The only thing I try to stay away from wearing this with are a lot of black pants or clothes that I haven't extensively washed yet. I mainly wear this with lighter colored jackets just because most of my jackets are beige or gray. Don't have that many black jackets, so it just kind of works out. I've had no issues in terms of maintenance with this bag so far. I do have a friend that has a Rodeo on his bag, and his Rodeo is a dark one. I did stain it a little bit, so just keep in mind Hermes on Hermes leather can stain when they rub and get in contact with each other. That did scare me away from getting a Rodeo in this bag for a while, but I do still want one, and I think I would still love to get like a tri-colored Pegasus for this because I think that'd be really cute. Maybe in like the gold, the Nata, or the Cray shade with something else. I can't remember what else is mixed into it, but it looks really, really cute. So price point, I think that's a reasonable price for an all other bag from Hermes. It doesn't crazily break the bank in the realm of all the other bags that they have there. Shape, it's very boxy. So Picotin, if you're not familiar with the backstory, originally started off as a bag that would put around the mouth of the horse, kind of like a feeder bag. These loops actually go over their ears, and that's why the base is such a boxy cut. It's not actually a square if you look at it, it's more like a rectangle. Front here is more narrow and the sides are a little bit wider. So when you're carrying it along your body, most of the time the longer side sits against your torso, so it's not jutting out too much, as opposed to if you were going to carry it this way and it goes out wide that way. It's not wide enough to the point where it feels like I have a tumor on the side of my body. And the way I wear it is I actually put it into my elbow, so it sits quite close into the side of my chest. So I don't ever feel like it's too far away from my body, as opposed to a crossbody. Like the Mansell Gabrielle bag that I have, that's also a bucket bag. It made me despise bucket bags in general just because I hated how that rested on my body. But I've had no issues with this one and I really like the shape. It has a very firm base, so it does keep its shape quite well. And it doesn't ever really like sag underneath, so you don't need to worry about this bag deconstructing upon itself. However, the rest of the bag though has no actual structure, so the sides do kind of sag in a bit, but the shape I think overall is not too bad. And because this is a 22 and a slightly larger one, I was worried that it would be too much of like a huge bump on the side of my body. It's not. I think if anything, the 18 would be even smaller and even cuter, and there are definitely even larger sizes of the Picotin that it's just not in the realm of like what I would need to do, so I don't think I would ever explore them. But the 22 is not a bad size in terms of the shape and the overall structure. For reference, I'm about 5'6" and about like 168 centimeters in height, and I'm fairly petite. I have like a 24-25 inch waist, if that is for reference how this bag sits against my body. Now, I mentioned that the base is fairly structured, whereas the rest of the bag, it's not. It's this very soft, supple leather in the Clemence leather. There's zero structure in this, and many people have complained that over time, as they use it, the corners kind of sag in a little bit. I didn't want that look for my bag. I know some people love the organic, loose look of the Picotin and how it's like very flimsy and it looks used, and there's this huge argument as to you're not supposed to keep your bags in picture perfect, pristine condition. You're supposed to use them. That's what they're destined for. But for me, if I'm spending that much money on a bag, I still want it to look nice. So I got an insert, as I usually do for all of my bags, and I'm gonna show you it. You almost can't see it because it pretty much matches the color of it internally like almost perfectly. So my insert is from Samorga, as always. I'll link the one exactly that I have down below, and there are two different versions. I tried them both. The one that I currently have in here is my favorite. I'll put that one first, and it actually has cuts on the side that help the bag actually collapse a little bit better on itself, because some people had complained that the organizer was so firm against this soft leather that it was creating indents in their bag. I haven't had that experience or issue yet, and my bag is holding up pretty well. From the outside, it doesn't look like I have an organizer, so I'm pretty happy with that. And the organizer, number one, serves as a purpose to help keep the bag's shape, so over time it doesn't sag as much, and number two, it just protects the interior of my bag, because the interior is not lined. It's a soft suede material, and it's also light. It's the exact same color as the exterior. The last thing that I want is to get stains on the inside, because God forbid if I ever need to sell off these bags, I still want to be able to retain as high value as I can. I want to keep the interiors pristine. So that's mainly why I got the bag organizer for this bag, not for durability and keeping the shape on the bottom, but keeping the actual overall shape of the bag and protecting the interior. So now that we've gone through the structure of the bag itself, let's talk about the interior, because it is just like a giant hole. This is just a box. If you guys can see, it's just a huge box. There's nothing inside. Without the organizer, I wouldn't have any compartments, and even with this organizer alone, it has like a card slot compartment on the side, so you don't have a lot of organization. Once you throw stuff in here, it is gone into an abyss forever. I would actually recommend, when you get your organizer, get a lighter colored one so it makes it easier to see what's inside of your bag. Otherwise, you're gonna be like putting your hand in here like a Mary Poppins, rummaging around forever. And along the lines of sticking your hands inside of the bag, if you couldn't tell already, there is a lock at the front of this bag. So this bag is designed to have a closure like this, where it has a little strap in the front. You poke it through the metal detailing here, and you attach the lock to the bottom to keep it weighted, and that just pulls it down and kind of keeps your bag closed at the top. Otherwise, there's no other method to secure this bag, and it would just remain wide open like a tote. So imagine like your Neverfull, your Goyard, St. Louise, or like my Dior book tote. It just flops wide open. So I'm actually quite happy that because it has this, it keeps it relatively shut, although it does make it a little bit difficult to put your hands in to grab stuff. The handles on the top also flop over quite often too, so it adds a little bit more security. Not saying that it's going to prevent anybody from stealing things from your bag or stealing your bag outright, but it further closes up the holes in the top here, so it's a little bit more difficult to just directly stick your hands in and grab things without disturbing the edges of your bag. It's really easy just to open up when you're holding it, stick your hand in and pull stuff out. Like, I have no problems with that. Here's something, drop it back in, and then once you put it down, it just kind of closes over and it kind of like pseudo seals itself. So security wise, kind of there. It's like a 50% of the way there because there's no zipper, but also at the same time, it's still an open hole and you just need to be mindful of that. I already mentioned the handles, they flip-flop over each other, it is out of the same exact leather as the rest of the bag in Clemence leather. So it's very supple and loose. There are Picotins that are called touches, which means they have like a touch of exotic skin on it. And I've seen some with handles that have like croc handles on the side here. Actually, now that I remember, I actually saw a Picotin 18 in all croc, and it's not always Clemence. Like I said, it was a very beautiful bag, but it's very structured when it's croc because that's a super thick material. So that bag actually sat upright like this on its own and just had a very form-fitting shape. If you like that look, ask your SA for a croc bag. But yeah, these handles are very loose. They kind of flop over like this, and I kind of like the look. It gives it an overall very slouchy look to the bag. I know a lot of people are like,
that looks like a diaper bag. It literally looks like a diaper bag.
And you know what I say to them? I don't care. I like the bag. If you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. It's not like we're holding a gun to your head, but I love it and I'm very happy with it. Do I love the handles? Not so much. They're a little bit annoying because there's 0 crossbody straps to this bag, so it's really hard to actually wear this and be completely hands-free. The handles do have a fairly decent drop though. You can see I can put my whole hand in here and probably fit another whole hand underneath. So it's not hard to wear this bag with jackets, especially bulky jackets in the winter time. I can put it all the way through and let it rest on the crook of my elbow here and walk around doing things when I'm shopping and not have to worry about this bag falling off of my elbow. One thing I can't really do, especially if I have a jacket on, is put it all the way up to my shoulder. And then at that part, you can see the bag just kind of like sticks out and it's pushing my arm away from my body and it's just not comfortable. So there's no way in hell I would ever wear the bag all the way up to my shoulders like this. More often than not, I'm wearing it on my elbow, and this is more or less a going out bag when I know I'm gonna be doing things like shopping, going out to eat somewhere, or just to go see a friend. This is not an everyday running around errands bag where I'm just gonna like toss it into the grocery cart, because I want to keep this bag on me, number one, because I don't want the base to get dirty, and just number two, it's not easy to leave hanging on my body. Now I have seen some people online purchase crossbody straps similar to the Lindy that you can attach on the sides of this bag and just wear it over your shoulder. At that point, you might as well just get a Lindy because that's literally the silhouette that you're creating, and that's a third-party strap. I don't think Hermes sells specific straps for this bag. You're kind of at the mercy of this being a handheld bucket bag as opposed to a crossbody bucket bag. I've seen people also attach twillies onto this, not only in the middle metal center part here, but also like sides of the handles, turn it into a crossbody strap. I just don't personally like the look of twillies on this bag. I prefer this bag on its own, and if I was to add anything to it, it would just be the Rodeo. So I think I'm gonna more or less leave this bag as is for now until I get my hands on a Rodeo or a Pegasus, because I just don't like the look of the twillies on this bag. So more or less it's a handheld bag or crook of the elbow bag. We're gonna chat a little bit about hardware now. I had mentioned before that I hadn't frequently seen gold hardware in Toronto. It was very hard to locate this. Anytime I walk into the store, they only ever had it with silver hardware, or actually, I think the Picotin is usually palladium, my bad. And I'd never seen gold hardware unless it was somewhere international. So when I asked for this bag, I was pleasantly surprised that she had it available in gold hardware, which is also why I was like, I want it. Now, there's hardware on the front, obviously where the lock is. There's a set of matching keys that's in the bag that comes with it. There's some hardware on this little punctured out area where you put the lock through, and on the top where it goes through the metal detailing up here. Only other hardware you see on this bag is on the feet. There are 4 feet on the bottom here because this is a very flat, smooth, soft leather. So if you're gonna be putting this down on a surface, it doesn't interact directly with it. Although, even though the base is fairly reinforced, I'm pretty sure if you load this bag up, it will kind of bow in the center, and this area might touch whatever surface you put it on, even though there are feet, because they're not very high. They're like maybe half a centimeter high off the ground at most. So the center is probably gonna bow at some point and touch the base of whatever you put it on and get dirty. So keep that in mind. But the bag itself is very minimal when it comes to hardware, and I like it. It's very sleek and simple. I don't love bags that have crazy amounts of hardware on them. Just a few statement pieces, and that's all I really need. So the last thing I'm gonna talk about is color. I got this in the Nata shade. You can get this in a variety of other shades. I've seen it in gold, black, gray, the list goes on. You can get it in like a monochrome look with like the metal that also matches the leather. I think that only comes in like a few shades, such as like this really bright pink or green. There's a black monochrome one that I've seen too. The monochrome just doesn't really speak to me. I've always just known that I've wanted the gold, so I gravitated straight towards that. And the Nata shade, if you're curious at how it compares to gray, Nata actually veers a little bit warmer. It has a yellow tint to it. So if you want a warmer toned beige, go for that one. Gray has a more cool tone to it, so if you like that, then straight towards that side. I don't think there's an outright pure white when it comes to these, or I haven't seen it yet. Most of my clothes are fairly warm tone when I wear them, which is why I thought this would match perfectly. I have fairly cool tone skin. I lean towards a little bit more like greeny olive shades, so I like to wear a lot more warmth colors, so it just kind of like brightens my skin up a little bit, and I think this bag did it perfectly. perfectly. It also goes really nicely with the gold hardware, so I think it's really cute. So yeah, that is essentially it when it comes to my bag. It holds a lot, I would say. I'm able to fit things like my wallet, my keys. I can throw a whole water bottle in here. I don't even know what else I put in here, to be honest. A whole bag of Ricola. I've put Harrison's baby wipes into here. There's a lot that you can put into the 22 that I don't necessarily know you could get away with the 18, even though it's just like a couple of centimeters around wider. So if you're looking for an all-over bag that you can just like throw things into, but you don't want something as large as a tote, this is a great option. The only issue is that the more you put in, obviously the heavier it's gonna get, and it doesn't have a crossbody strap or shoulder strap, so you're kind of just at the mercy of carrying it. So it's a very situational based bag, and you want to make sure you have somewhere you can set it down comfortably without having to tire out your arms. Now, if you're somebody that carries minimal amounts of things, then maybe not the 22. I'd probably say opt for the 18. There's an even smaller size of 14, but I don't personally love the colors that one currently comes in. It has some like green and purple ones that have flowers all over it, and I think if they released that smaller size in the neutral colors, it would be such a hit, and I would definitely want to get my hands on one, but in the meantime, it's just not really my cup of tea. I know not everybody loves this bag, but I think it's so unique and different, and I don't often see people carrying it, which is why I was more drawn towards it. I liked how individual it looks because you don't see so many people with it all the time, and I think it's a very functional bag, even though it has situations and case specific, I guess, times you would actually use it, but it has served me really well, and I feel like I never run out of space when it comes to this bag. It's not too big to the point that I feel like if I'm putting things in, I have to dig around and find it. It's like that happy medium in between a huge tote and a tiny crossbody, and if you're a mom like me, then you'll know you're always carrying things. I've literally just thrown Harrison's snacks and a soother into here, and it doesn't take me forever to look around and find it. Now, the final question, would I recommend this bag? And the answer is, truly, it's a yes and no. For me, the bag works out really well. I love how beautiful it is. It's a great size. I can fit a lot into it, but the downsides, like I mentioned, is that it's a handheld bag, strictly. You can't crossbody it, you can't shoulder it. As somebody who likes to be hands-free a lot of the time, that is my big dilemma. I don't often wear this bag if I'm gonna be taking Harrison out by myself, unless I have him in the stroller and I can put this in the base of the stroller. If I have Peter with me to help push Harrison, then I'm much more inclined to use this bag, or if I'm out and about alone, then yeah, I'm very, very inclined to use this bag. But otherwise, I don't really reach for it if I'm just out with Harrison by myself. The color, I think, is a little bit more delicate because it's lighter. If you were to pick a darker color, then I don't think you'd have an issue with just throwing the bag around. But I do baby this bag a little bit more because I think, number one, it's an Hermes bag. It's spent a lot on it. Number two, it's a light bag. And number three, it's a very soft leather. So I do take a little bit more care of it. And I feel like it's not that perfect, like everyday bag, but I know that's not everybody's lifestyle. So I don't know how applicable that tidbit of information and preference would apply to you. Obviously, if you're also somebody like me who likes to take care of their bags, then this is a great bag for you. But if you just need like a throw around bag, then I'd probably say if you're gonna get this one, get the smaller size and maybe get a darker color. Price point, I think this is very reasonable for an Hermes bag. It's a great starter piece into growing your Hermes collection or starting your Hermes journey. It's not as astronomical as a Birkin or a Kelly or even a Lindy, and it's not like so crazy hard to get, even though it is starting to get a little bit more popular. So if you're interested in it, I would probably recommend speak to your SA now, get yourself on a list, and when it comes in and it's available, scoop it up. Also, PSA, I have heard that Hermes is actually going up in price soon. They are increasing their prices. It's incremental. I think it's around like 10% or so, so it's not too crazy, but it is going to start making the bags and all your goodies a little bit more expensive. So keep that in mind if you've had this on your list and you're not sure if you like it or not. At the end of the day, my experience with this bag is that I'm very happy with it. It serves its purpose for me. It's spacious but not overly spacious, and it's very durable and it's minimal. I can easily turn it around to the other side if I need to hide the hardware if I'm going somewhere where I don't feel as comfortable showing off all like the flashy metals. It's not difficult to conceal as a bag, and since most people don't typically know this exact silhouette of the bag compared to something like a loud flashier print like the LV monochrome or like an LV Neverfull, I feel like I'm less of a target when it comes to thefts or pickpocketers because it's not something your general population would gravitate towards and be like, oh, she has an expensive bag, let's go steal from her. So because it's a little more nondescript, it makes me feel a little bit more secure, but watch me jinx myself from saying that now. That's just something I wanted to add, just kind of how I feel when I'm out and about with this bag, compared to some other bags that I have that are very popular and very well known and easily identifiable. At the end of the day, it is your money. You can choose how you want to spend it. I'm just hoping that I was able to provide some help and to assist you in your decision if you are thinking about purchasing this bag or if you are interested in it. I really like this bag. I think it's beautiful. The leather is so soft. The color is stunning. The shape is the perfect size for me. My only real downfall when it comes to this bag is the fact that I can't crossbody it. That's about it. So if that isn't a make or break deal for you, then yeah, look into this bag, consider it. I think it's a great purchase, a good investment, and you're gonna love it. And hopefully you do love it as much as I do. So yeah, all the details of this bag will be down below, along with the organizers that I have, and I'll specifically star the one that I use and prefer with this bag, so you guys know exactly which one to get if you're also looking to purchase the exact same one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found this resourceful, helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions about the Picotin, if there's anything you want to know, if you have questions that I didn't really answer in this video, but I think I more or less touched on everything that I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found it interesting to watch at least, and let me know if you would like to see more of these sorts of videos. I have an exciting purchase coming from Hermes soon. I put the deposit down for something. It's not in yet, but I should be getting a message from my SA pretty soon once it comes in. So stay tuned for that and keep your eyes peeled out for an exciting unboxing of something I've been wanting for a long time now. And if you guys have any guesses as to what it is, drop them down in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video, and I'll talk to you again. Love you. Bye.